I don't know. I just actually enjoy dying. I really enjoy dying for some reason.
Your co-star, Sharmin, has got the rough end of the stick. Everyone loved the show and they just decided to pick on that one person.
We are nobody to talk about the audience. I cannot talk about the audience, but I can talk about the people who are close to me.
After 13 years, everything is going to change. What would he have said then?
And at that point of time, I would be like, oh, really? I have to wait that long for things to change? Okay.
Do you feel it's finally hamara time aa gaya?
No, I don't feel like that because I feel that it's not about hamara time aa gaya. If you think like that, then you start being complacent. I've become Taj for everybody at the moment, and I don't mind.
For all film-related interviews, reviews, and content, please like and subscribe to Pooja Talwar. You can also follow me on Twitter and on Instagram.
Taha, lovely to see you. You are the newly anointed national crush. How does that feel?
First of all, I'm so sorry I kept you waiting. I have to just say that. I'm really sorry. And being anointed, that's a really interesting term. It's very humbling. It's very, the nation has been very kind. The people have been very kind. The audience has been very kind. I really take this as a win for all the last 15 years that I've put in. And I'm so glad that I'm getting the love and recognition that I have really desired over the years. Never been able to get it, but thanks to sanjayleelabhansali and Netflix, I've finally achieved a very small part, and I'm so glad. It feels great. It feels really great.
You know, I think the term national crush is now the rite of passage because it's now you have arrived. You know, don't you think so? And it's in a way heartening to see because you're suddenly seeing talent we otherwise would have missed and not seen. You know, there is you and, you know, there are a couple of other names that have come up. Like, you're like, oh my God, where were these people?
I think the OTT platforms have given us an opportunity, you know, for people who maybe could have gotten lost, I presume. And, but of course, again, you know, there's so much content being made on a daily basis, you know, and for a certain few to kind of erupt, it's truly a blessing. And it really can't be foretold. It's really unpredictable that who gets picked up, who doesn't. It's really in the audience's hand. So yeah, but I do feel that OTT platforms have given us a lot of leverage in the market for all us creative artists to get a little boost, which we hadn't initially. So yeah, I think it's really great.
If I was to tell you, like, if we could go back in time, you know, like a time slip, and I could tell the Taha who made his debut with Love Ka the End, that dude, after 13 years, everything is going to change. What would he have said then?
I mean, I'd say at that point of time, I would be like, oh, really? I have to wait that long for things to change? Okay. You know, maybe that would have, you know, when you're foretold that you have to wait for 13 years, then maybe you also have this kind of expectation that, okay, 13 years ke baad to sab kuch ho jayega, everything's going to be all right. And I'm going to get that boost in the market. But I guess because nobody has told me that, and it's very unpredictable, I guess every day you kind of strive for excellence, you know, and hoping that maybe the next day something good will happen, So I believe that I'm glad I don't know, and I'm glad it came as a surprise. And I feel that this is the exact right time for me because over the years I've learned so much, all the things that I didn't know, and now I know that I didn't know. And finally, it's all kind of come together. You know, it's like a house being built, and the foundation has been set. Right, it took me 13 years to build that foundation, but it's really a blessing.
What's the one thing that you've learned in these 13 years? Because I think life has just changed 360-degree for you after playing Tajdar. I mean, I don't call you Taha. I keep saying, I am meeting Tajdar. Oh, this Tajdar boy. Because somewhere Tajdar has replaced Taha for me. You know, that was the impact of your performance.
Yeah, they do actually. They've been, they messaged me and they're like, we typed in Taj instead of Taha, and then we like had to backspace it and then kind of write Taha again. So I'm so glad because sometimes the role really redefines you. That character name kind of gets attached to you. And since I previously did a show called Taj, and then again now I'm doing a character called Taj. So it's become, and for the last 2 years, literally, it's been Taj, like a heavy flow into people's minds. It's just Taj, Taj, Taj. So I guess Taj is somewhere resonating with me. My dad calls me Taj. I mean, now, he messages me. He keeps messaging me. Hey, Taj. Okay, so I'm heading over here. So let's meet up over here. So I've become Taj for everybody at the moment, and I don't mind because I think Taj is a great name, and the character is really, really, really close to my heart. And so yeah, I just hope that the name continues and I get more roles like how Rahul was, how Vijay was, how Prem was. It's like a redefining name, you know.
Yeah. I mean, you would be the new Taj, honestly.
Yeah.
ताहा क्यों नाम रखा? फिर बोलते हैं ना अपने पेरेंट्स को ताज रख देते.
Yeah, maybe that is the change. Maybe that is what's required.
Yeah. But it's amazing because to persevere for 13 years in this industry, it's a hyper competitive ecosystem. I mean, it's the survival of the fittest. I know how crazy it can be. What was it like for you? Now, when you look back in retrospect, up to, it's looking great, but those 13 years wouldn't have been easy.
I mean, I wouldn't say that, it's not about being easy. I feel that there were down moments. There were always moments which you feel really down at, because the rest of the time, I've always tried to keep myself as busy as possible, whether it be by doing classes. I do a lot of classes, or whether it be trying to like knock on many doors, trying to get one opening here and there, really putting in the legwork, really building up my network, my resources, so I know moments where I have really cried, where I've really felt dejected and rejected, and I really felt sometimes that I really wanted to give up too. But I think by the end of it, when you have a strong support system like my mother, who really believes in you and really, she's not a person who gives up, right? She has always, and it's not that she has followed her so-called dreams. Her dreams must have been different. She had to sacrifice quite a lot for her family, for me, for my brother, right? But by the end of it, she always knew that she had to take care of all of us, and she's always been that strong woman, that strong force behind me. So I feel that when I have somebody like that behind me, it always felt like, but she never gave up. You know what I mean? So I had somebody to like bounce off on. And whenever I fell down or when I cried, she always used to come to me and just ask me a very simple question, like, what exactly are you going to get by crying? Is this what you want to do? I say yes. And then she was like, all right, you want to cry, but sleep, wake up, and let's start the hustle again. I'm on your side, and you're doing this for me, and I'm here for you, whatever you need. So as long as you're not, he's like, you're not crying for food. You have food on the table. You got a roof over your head, and you got your two hands, you got your two legs, you're fine. You're really fine. There's so much problems around the globe. There's so many wars around the globe. There's so much things happening. So I believe that when you actually look at all of that and then you look at yourself, you really have nothing to cry about. I mean, you're following your dream, you're following your passion, you're doing something you love. You got to look at the brighter side. So I feel over the years, even though those down moments really came in, my motto has always been, for me, somehow it's always worked. Sweat it out. I go and I train very hard. I really put in my efforts, and I kind of leave the rest to the Almighty, because because if I don't do what is in my hands, then how am I supposed to complain, right? So I do whatever I can, which is in my hands, and then this is completely blind faith, right? I completely have blind faith that one day something good will happen, because I'm a reader. I'm an avid reader, and I keep reading biographies of really famous people who inspired me. Small examples like Michael Jordan, or even Jackie Chan, or Kobe Bryant, or whatever, Abraham Lincoln, right? And you see the humble beginnings that these people come from. They had nothing, and yet they earned everything that they got. So I believe if they can do it, anybody can do it, right? And I'm just that one of the anybody's. So that's what actually kept me going. All these people's stories, I listen to it every day, right? I play it in the morning and I listen to somebody's biography, somebody's story, and I'm like, if they can do it, we can do it.
Awesome. I mean, this is maybe something I also need to hear, because I'm a control freak and I try to control the uncontrollables. And I realize it's just a downward spiral. But thank you. Maybe I needed to hear that today from you. But did you really think that Tajdar would be that character that would change your life? I mean, when you got onto set saying that this would be the moment, because the thing is, when he came on screen, I'm being honest, I was like, wow, who is this actor?
I'm so glad you thought that. To be very honest, for somebody who's been, I've been part of big projects before, and I've been part of big production houses before, and I've always thought that, oh man, this is a big production house, this is a big cast, this film is going to be a hit, and it's going to be good for everybody, and I'm going to get good roles, and somehow that it just never happened, right? It always never ever happened. So to be very honest, I was quite pessimistic, you know, because I've also signed up roles and that film fell apart, or they shot it and then it didn't release. So I've been through all of that. So it kept me very balanced, right? So even when I got this role, after getting a 3-day role and then getting the lead role, I mean, even though that transition happened, I was very happy and I was very content. But was I like, no, this is it, and I know that this is going to change my life? I couldn't think like that. Like my mind wouldn't go there. My mind would be like, every day let's just put in our hard work and let's put in our best, and let's see. It was always this, I trust the process, let me see what happens. I wasn't I just couldn't make myself to believe like, this role is going to change my life. To be very honest, all I wanted from this role, which I knew would have happened, if not this, that would have definitely happened, was that this guy is a good actor. He's come in a Sanjayleelabhansali project. Sanjay sir has, put a stamp on him as an actor, and that means, he can act, right? And from that, I would just get maybe another role. That's it. I wasn't looking for I never thought this would happen. I never thought about this whole national crush, being anointed national crush, or people sending me so much love, or for somebody like me who had like 400, 500 likes on his Instagram post to immediately jump up to about 2 lakhs. I mean, come on, that's I can't even understand the percentage of growth that is. You know what I mean? So it's really unbelievable. So I never thought that. I think that's, and some of the people that I have heard have always said that the day you stop, the day somehow you stop caring about that, then it comes to you.
Another pearls of wisdom for me. Thanks, dude.
Right. I've experienced it. So this is just, I've never believed those people who said all that stuff. But when it finally happened, I'm like, oh damn, because I really didn't expect it. I really didn't care. I didn't really like run behind it like, no, this has to happen. This has to happen. And I'm like, what has to happen will happen. And I just need to give my best. Yeah.
Okay, I think maybe today was my day to get a motivational talk from you. And thank you so much. They always say, right person, right time. And, I think Aaj mera din tha. But what was it like working with Sanjayleelabhansali? Because I know people who work with him, he can be a hard taskmaster. And I'm saying it in the nicest possible way, because he's a perfectionist. And perfectionists can be very difficult to work with.
I think it's quite possible, because I think it's quite difficult for my team to work with me, because I think I demand quite a lot, and not only from them, but I demand quite a lot from myself on an everyday basis. And for me to achieve everything that I want to achieve in just a day, people might take like a month to achieve just all of that. You know what I mean? So, but for me, even though I try and achieve quite a lot, I feel like I haven't done anything. I feel like, and that's I don't know how that's a very silly feeling to have. Sometimes they say that I need to pat myself on the back and just like kind of give yourself some credit, but it's very difficult for me to do that, really. And so yes, I understand where he's coming from, because when I look at him, when I've been seeing him, I'm like, yeah, I think I would grow up to become exactly like this. I become exactly like this person, because he's got a great sense of humor. Okay, he's really well read, very intellectual. He has a great vision. But with all of this, he's also somebody who is hands-on, right? Even though he has 2 sets simultaneously running at the same time, he's hands-on both sets, right? He doesn't want to let go of either, right? He wants to give his best in both. And, very inspiring, even for me, like, who's very driven in life. But when I see somebody like him at his stature, at his age, and, you really can get inspired by that man, and you're like, dude, what are you doing? Right? Because he lives, sleeps, eats, breathes, whatever it is, it's cinema. It is storytelling, it is filmmaking, it's music, And you're like, sometimes I see people want to go to cafes, they want to go and chill out, they want to do this. And I see this man, he's like, he never goes out. He's always into music, he's always into reading, he's always into something or the other. So it really, in the last 2 years that I've been with him, 2 years, a long time, but yeah, 2 years that I've been around him, I've really felt like whatever I'm doing, maybe 10% of what he's doing, and have so much more to grow and make myself as a better person. I'm so glad that God has given me this opportunity and opened up my eyes that, where can you go? I mean, you think you can go here, but when you see somebody and you aspire to be that person, you try to emulate that person, then that, you're like 100, 200, maybe 1,000 steps behind them. And you're like, that's my goal now. So, yeah.
Awesome. But it's unfair that your co-star, Sharmin, has got the rough end of the stick. I mean, she poor thing. I mean, what did you think of that? Because everyone loved the show and they just decided to pick on that one person.
No, they really have picked on her, and I have always, whoever I've spoken to, I've always made it a point to say that, we are nobody to talk about the audience. I cannot talk about the audience, but I can talk about the people who are close to me, such as my mom, my dad, and they have come up to me and they said that, they had logical explanations as to how her performance was, and it made complete sense because I know I was there with her almost 110 days, right, on set with her continuously. So I have seen her put her best foot forward. I have seen her take out, like when we discuss a script, she would actually be able to like point out some logical explanation to something which should not be there. You know what I mean? Because she AD'd with Mr. Bhansali initially, of course, and then in one or two projects, and then she got into this. Plus, she did Malal before, right? So she knows his process of working, and she went through the whole script. So I have always seen her come up with great ideas. I've always seen her put her best foot forward. So I would plead that people kind of give her a break. She's still young in the industry, and I just know that this is just her starting point. You, like, for me, come on, you can't really judge me from like 13 years ago, right? Like, I was not the same then as what I am today with my experiences of both life and education. So I think she has put her best foot forward, and all of us are here to grow. Every day we keep growing. So I really hope that they take it easy on her.
HeeraMandi too. I mean, कहीं से कोई ताजदार का हम शक्ल कुछ ऐसा twist आ सकता है tale में. Because you made people cry copious tears. I mean, though despite it was a love story of the past, real Tajdar hota wo up, maybe he wouldn't have been around a bit, but people are heartbroken after his track. So कहीं पर हमको Tajdar मिल जाएगा फिर से.
I mean, look, I trust the process, like I said, and anything is possible in cinema. All right, anything is possible in cinema, and it's not like the script is 100% written yet. I mean, of course, there's a general idea of what it is, and I mean, I hope Bhansali sir has really enjoyed working with me, and if Netflix and the audience wants now maybe Tajdar back, then maybe they might just give them. I mean, that's a surprise that everybody has to wait for, to be honest.
There will be some other Taj, Tajinder, Taj Khan, kya pata? We will wait for that. But honestly, now, I mean, it's, as I said, it is so encouraging to see you, the Lapata girls, there's been Trupti Dimri, all of them who have just like come up. And these were people who were struggling, trying to break through in an industry where people with networks, as Kartik Aryan said, they had access to doors that all of you did. Do you feel it's finally hamara time aa gaya?
No, I don't feel like that, because I feel that it's not about hamara time aa gaya. I feel that, see, if you think like that, then you start being complacent, right? Then you start feeling like things need to come to you now. It's your time. I can never think like I said, 15 years have really set me up in line and made me realize that whatever you think is not really what, because you're making your own world up, So I believe in being hungry. I believe that if people don't come to you, you got to go to them. You know, I don't know. I don't have the so-called, I don't think that I'm the star. I really don't. I think I'm a mazdoor, right? I believe that the harder I work, and now I know that the harder I work, something good will definitely come up, you know, but I need to put in that effort. I cannot be like, मैंने 15 साल मैंने मेहनत कर लिया, अभी चीजें आएंगी. ऐसा बिल्कुल भी नहीं है. It is now. It's actually, this is the moment where I have to work 100 times harder, you know, because that just set me up. And now to actually, I don't even want to maintain this. I want to go higher than this. And for that, I need to sacrifice more. I need to put in more effort. Like even right now, like I had like, you know, I had like a very late night for an event last night, and I came back and like networking things. Anyway, I came back, I slept. I really didn't feel like going to work. I really did. All right. But I'm like, no, you know, I woke up and I literally, that's why I got late, because I had to run and I had to get my workout out. You know, I had to do something so that I know that I put in the effort and I don't become, nahi, मैं तो कल कर लूँगा, मैं ठीक है, शाम में कर लूँगा, नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है. उठ के आपको, you know, they so-called the eat the frog. So I had to eat the frog in the morning and then get to work. So I believe that these small things, these small choices that you make, you know, really push you ahead in life. You know, if you don't do these things and you become complacent, कि अपना time आ गया है, then I'm sorry, but then the next thing is downfall. I feel so, at least.
I totally get that. Thank you so much. So now, what next? What can we expect?
I mean, I hope that you put out some manifestation out there for me and get, you know, something.
Well, the
something
dude who's manifesting it, I'm taking cues from you today. Okay, let's together manifest it. So I'm manifesting a Taj in HeeraMandi too as well, and in the middle a lot, because I have friends who, I mean, on my Instagram, are you interviewing him? Are you interviewing him? I was like, whoa, man.
I'm so glad. No, I'm so glad, and I hope that I don't disappoint you. I will continuously strive to make you know, good emotional projects which actually make me a better actor, a more versatile actor, and something which challenges both me and my intellect. And of course, my main thing is always to get people crying in their seats. I mean, that is like my
tragedy zero mat karna, nahi to wo hi milta, wo hi karte rahoge. Everybody will then look out for a happy ending for you. Yeah.
I don't know. I actually enjoy dying. I really enjoy dying for some reason. So it's crazy, but I trust me, in the last 4 projects that I've shot, I've all died in that. Like there's 2 still coming, but like but yeah, in the last 3 of them that have just come out, Taj, I died. Then this one I've died, and then there's another one which I've died.
Rao have a connect. Wo bhi har film mein. That's what I would tell her. Why do you get bumped off?
We love it. And she's also a Scorpion, by the way. I'm also a Scorpion. So it almost seems like,
As James Dean said, you know, like on screen, those who die young, they never grow old. So you can never imagine a tajdar as an old man. He'll always be young.
Yeah.
But here's to you soaring new heights, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Pooja. Thank you so much. I'm sorry again to make you wait.
Oh, no, it's okay. Sab chalta hai. Mere subah ke 9 baje. So it's okay.
Thank you.
Bye. Take care.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye.
If you've liked this interview, please like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram.